What if there was a way you could easily compile a list of your dream clients? Clients that are happy to pay premium rates, they refer you to other A players as well, and ultimately set you up for success. I'm talking about something called the Dream100 strategy. Now, the question most people get stuck on is this: where do I find my Dream100? Obviously, without wasting a bunch of time on research. And of course, how do you initiate contact with them so you can start a relationship with them? Well, if you're looking for a strategy to potentially find, attract, and potentially work with your Dream100 clients, this is the video you definitely want to watch. Because in today's video, I'm going to show you step by step where to look, how to screen, and practical tips that I've personally used, you can use yourself to get the attention of your Dream100. This is going to be a longish video, and I know it's going to make a massive impact to your bottom line. So make a commitment to me right now. You're going to stay until the end. You're going to implement everything I tell you in this video. Jules Dan, I'm a freelance copywriter with over $10 million in client results. And if you're wondering, how did I create a portfolio of $10 million in results in under 2.5 years? The answer is with the Dream100. So it's really dear to my heart, and I'm super pumped to talk about it today in this video. And if you're new to this channel, what I talk about is how to get more customers, how to make more per customer, how to keep them coming back with the power of the pen. So I'm glad you're here with me. All right, so before we dive into the meat potatoes of how to, I'm gonna assume that you're already pretty aware of what the Dream100 is. I mean, it's a pretty niche keyword when I typed it into Google. Explain it all in a nutshell, the Dream100 is, it's a list of all your top clients, JV partners, affiliates, people you want to start a relationship with, basically. The trouble is, most people quit this endeavor on the 5th rejection. Jules, I sent out 5 emails, nobody responded to me, your strategy absolutely sucks. Look, if that's you, that's totally fine. This channel's probably not for you, this video's not for you. There's definitely some work ethic that's involved in this process, but it's damn worth it. If you're the kind of person like me who doesn't mind putting in a bit of extra elbow grease to get what they want out of life, hit the like button. But you know, like my therapist said that empathy is a powerful tool, so I gotta level with you. First off, I wanna say, if you've tried to follow the Dream100 formula, you try to build that list and you failed, that's totally normal. It's a pretty tough endeavor. And that's because everyone's gonna ghost you, reject you. It's a really tedious process to get one yes. So what's the even point of even trying? These are your gold testimonials and case studies you'll get to keep for life, and you get to keep leveraging and again. These people pay you very well, and they've got a large network they can introduce you to if you do a good job. If you just get one really good client saying yes out of this process, it just sets you up for a lot of success down the line. This is how I got my feet wet with the Dream100, is finding that one good client and then leveraging from one to the next to the next. And look, I'm still on my journey. I'm not a millionaire, but this is how I've built a $10 million plus portfolio. And I want to help you do the same, whatever with your craft is. It's how I've been able to work with people like Troy Dean from Agency Mavericks, Colin Boyd from Self From Stage Academy. I've even used this process to work with Brian Mancada, and here was Dean Graziosis media buyer. He's partnering now with Sam Ovens. I don't mean to name drop 1,000 times, but you get the picture. The Dream100 is super damn powerful. Man, this guy's pretty arrogant, name dropping and all these different things. All right, that's enough pumping my tires. I totally get it. Now let's get into the really good content. Now I need to say this again, set expectations and be completely transparent with you. The road to doing the Dream100 is gonna be full of rejection. But if you stick with me to end this video, I'm gonna show you how you can maximize the chances of getting your foot in the door with them. Now, the good news is I've already gone out, field tested, gotten rejected, and tested a bunch of different hooks that get people's attention on LinkedIn, results like this, or on Instagram DMs like this, and even with cold email, I've gotten really cool responses like this. So if you're looking for a shortcut to get your foot in the door with your Dream100, make sure you check out the link in the description where you can grab these swipe files yourself. All right, so enough story time and enough talking about myself. Where do you find your Dream100? Well, that's actually the wrong question. It's like asking, where do I find my dream wife? The right question is, who is my ideal customer? And then you list out all the traits of who your ideal customer is. So for me, I've got it written down here. They have an engaged email list, they have a strong social media presence, and they run paid traffic, and they have a converting offer that needs copy every single day. Your list might be different, but this is just what's worked for me. Oh yeah, and this is how I do a lot of my YouTube scripts off my phone. I'm high tech like that, you know. Okay, but this is the part where I got stumped for a while, and I know where you might get stumped as well. Where the heck are my Dream100 clients? Are they on Facebook groups? Are they on Google? Are they on on Amazon. Those are all okay places to start. I'm going to show you a really good search engine that just hands it to you on a silver platter. It's amazing. But before we get to that really cool search engine, here's what you need to do first. And this is what I've done personally myself to shortcut the process. You find all the keywords of the different niches that you think you can help your clients with. This is something I spent multiple hundreds of dollars on a virtual assistant to compile a list for me. So if you do want to swipe that list, it's in the same bundle of those messages I was telling you about. Just check out the link in the description, shameless plug. All right, so now that we've got our keywords, this is when we're gonna go check out this really cool search engine. It's called listennotes.com. It's probably one of the best search engines you can use for finding your Dream 100. Why is that? Well, typically the people who go onto podcasts have got their shit together. They've got money to pay for a PR person or a podcast person to get them onto shows. So they're good clients. They've got money. Now that we've got those keywords, we're gonna go over to Listen Notes and find some A players to add to your Dream 100 list. There's 4 different ways we can do this. So I'm gonna hop in my computer and show you how to do that right now. All right, so g'day, welcome back to my computer. Here, I'm gonna be short, sharp, keeping it nice and simple for you. We're gonna be using something really cool. It's called Listen Notes. One of the best search engines you can use for finding your Dream 100 clients. I'm gonna show you 4 different ways how we can use this really powerful search engine. And by the way, if you haven't already, go check out the link in my description. I'm shortcutting this process for you. Basically, I used to have a podcast and I reached out to a bunch of these people. So I've detailed heaps of different niches of who your Dream 100 might be. Instead of you going out and having to do the manual process, which we're about to do. If you just want to shortcut that, just check out the link in the description. It's my bridge page before my affiliate link. But if you just want to grab this checklist so you don't have to do that, don't even worry about the software, that's cool. Which I'll show you how to use in a sec too. But yeah, as you can see, just like I've got a whole bunch of really cool A players that you can go start working with or start messaging. But without further ado, let's get into how you use Listen Notes. It is a mostly free tool. I would say 90% free tool. The only part you have to pay for is the filtering if you really want to do it. But other than that, it's 100% free. So the reason why I really like it is because there's 4 ways you can use Listen Notes to find your Dream 100 clients. The first way is to type in a keyword. Now, as you can see, I've got different keywords here. So I've got blogging, coaching, YouTube sales, wealth creation, funnels, business coach. These are all my types of my ideal clients in those niches. So your niches might be different, but let's just say I'm just going to use life coach as an example. Now, you can go to episodes here, right? But one thing I like to do is do podcasts. This shows people's life coach podcast. Now, the reason why we want to do this is because if you find a life coach podcast, then you can go back through the person's guests and see who's been on the show. And that's super powerful because if someone's in that particular niche or like they're a similar sort of affiliation with life coach, then they might be a really good Dream 100. And if they're on podcasts, then they've probably got the money, the resources to be like an ideal client because they're obviously paying some agency to get on this show. For the most part, that's how it always works. Not always, but most of the time. So I found over here, money as a life coach. Now, let's just say you're into, say, like personal development. You're like, okay, I would have clicked on this because let's just say hypothetically, I'm into personal development. I like life coach. And it sounds like this person might have some guests. And their listen score is above 50. So that's typically the benchmark I look for. 50 is a really good, it means like they've got a solid audience. So between 40 and 50, it's like getting there, but 50 plus is what you want. And then what you're going to do is you'll just see, okay, a list of people's names here. Jill, Allison, Brian. And you can have a quick little look at what this episode is about. Following your creative dreams. Okay. Sometimes they have like the person's social media, but in this one they don't. But yeah, you'll find the next person's name here, Charlotte Smith, and you'll have Kyna Newell, and then you'll have Jamie Lee. And then your job is then to find these names and then investigate if they're actually worth looking into, which we're going to get to in part 3. But let's get back to this. I'm moving fast here. Okay, another way you can use Listen Notes is if you know a really big person and then you type in their name and then find all other podcasts they've been on. So I'm going to use Amy Porterfield, for example. She's quite popular in the online marketing space.
So I've done episodes now, and I've typed in Amy Porterfield. So it's going to show me all the episodes, all the podcasts that Amy Porterfield has been on. So I've got the Influential Brand Podcast. I've got Earn You Happy, My First Million, Expert Edge, Business Made Simple, Influencer Podcast. And I guarantee you, if I go click on, let's say this one, they're going to have a bunch of other people. Hala Taha. What else? Michelle Sherman. Okay, and the point of this, the reason why I've done this is because every podcast has its own like flavor and spin on who's on the show. So some might be way more female, some might be a little bit more macho or male. So let's just say there's something more male orientated, for example, like My First Million. It sounds like there'd be more dudes on this show if that's your cup of tea. And according to my analytics, 85% of people watching are dudes. So let's have a look here. Mr. Beast, he's obviously not who you're looking for. But anyways, you get what I mean? Like, you type in the person's keyword and then episodes, and then just find what podcast might be right flavor for you, go through the guests, and then compile their names into something like this, or I've just sort of shortcut the process for you by checking out the link description. Anyways, that's enough plugging right there. Another way is I like if you want to go a bit more broad, let's just say you want to type in an author. So if you don't necessarily want to do business, but you want to do, say, like, find like a big talk show podcast or something like that where like influential people, not necessarily business owners, but influential people go on. So I've typed in Robert Greene. He's a very popular author. I really love his books, and he's been on a bunch of different shows. So that's another thing you can do. Type in like a big name author into here, episodes, just like we've done with Amy Porterfield, and scroll through the different episodes here. The last way you can do this, which I think is actually very similar to what I've done. Well, actually, this is just reinforcing another example. We're in the health space, not in the marketing space. So I really liked Dave Asprey's podcast in the past, but let's just say there's like more hidden, little known people, not so much like marketing people. Well, I might go to some like a health niche. Say you want to try and find like hidden gem clients or something like that, where it's not influencers coming onto the show. Maybe it's just someone with like a small practice or something. This would be the show you would do it on. The reason, that's not, obviously, like, that's not solid fact, but I don't recognize any of these people, maybe because I'm just in the marketing space. But if you're into this sort of like niche and you could definitely help them out with whatever it is, then that's another way to use listen notes, and it's super damn effective.
Now that we've gone to listen notes and we've compiled a bunch of people, this is the part where you need to validate and screen people out. This is the part that I was talking about before when you're compiling a list of who was the right client. And for me, it was they have a strong social media presence and a list running paid traffic, and they have a converting offer. And that's why I'm going to be using this next piece to screen people out. Now, the way I like to validate my Dream100 is to use a software called Advert Suite. I'm going to show you in just a second how I use it to screen, to go through people's funnels. And the reason why I really like Advert Suite is because it's got this really cool feature that the free stuff like VidTower doesn't have. It takes us to the landing page behind the ad. Now, the reason why we want this feature is because unless you get the right ad at the right time from your Dream100, which is very unlikely, it's hard to find their ads outside of Facebook ads library. The other reason why I want to go inside their funnels as well is because this is how we're going to get our foot in the door. Now, the reason why we want to get into these paid traffic funnels is because we want to see these assets they're pouring a lot of money into. It's going to help us create a really valuable, even what I've called an even better gift to get our foot in the door with these people. Now, I totally get it. If you're not a copywriter, why would you want to be going through this funnel and making something, a little gift for them? Like, what would you even be focusing on? Maybe you're a designer and there's some way you can make the UX even better. Or maybe you're a video editor and there's a way you could make the video creatives even better. Or maybe you know how to train dogs. Okay, that's a massive stretch. But the point is, if you don't see a direct correlation of what you do, your craft, and how you can benefit your Dream100, it's time to get a little bit creative, because it might not always be like a direct correlation, but it's definitely there. The point of this little free gift, going through the funnel, is finding something so you can make their funnel, their marketing, their business even better. Now I'm bordering on the next part, which is creating the free gift. But before we do that, we need to validate our Dream100, see if they're legit, get into their funnels, and that's why we're gonna go back into my computer and I'm gonna show you how to leverage what we found in listen notes to then go to Advert Suite to validate our Dream100.
So this is step 3 of the framework here. We're gonna validate if they're running paid traffic. And the reason why we're doing this is just personally for me, if they're running paid traffic, typically they've got deeper pockets, they've got money to spend for premium rates. And on top of that, it means we're gonna go inside of their funnel, find something we can latch onto and then make it even better as part of our gift, our way in. But let me show you this software that I've found. It's called Advert Suite, and this is completely optional, but this is something I've bought, and I bought the upsell as well, which is they give you, I think for like $67, it's the Facebook, and for another $67, you get Instagram, Google Ads, and YouTube. And if you've ever used the Facebook ads library, or you've used VidTower, it's kind of like that, but a lot more centralized, and there's a really cool feature that the reason why I paid money for it. It's this tiny little feature. So what is it? Well, I want to find, so after we've done our research of going through these different podcasters, this is the screening process that I do, is that are they running paid ads? So let's just use someone on my Dream100. So if he's watching this, you know, you're on my Dream100. His name's Dan Henry. And I know Dan Henry runs paid traffic. So let's get Dan Henry watches. And I know his ads are going to pop up here. Okay, this isn't anything revolutionary. We can sort by running longest, which is pretty helpful, which I'll show you in just a second why. Newest, comments, likes, whatever. Those are some features. But let's just say I want to go to YouTube ads. This is the part where it gets kind of cool, because on things like VidTower, sure, you can find, let's type in my next person on my Dream100. So here's the next person on my Dream100 client, on my Dream100 list, and it's John Pemberthy. It looks like he's got a couple different here. Okay, yeah. So it's got all the ads here, which is great for VidTower. So the problem is you would go to the YouTube link, it would come up with an unlisted link here. I actually want to find their funnels. So let's go back here to sort by newest, have a look, what's he running, see details of this ad. Now the big reason why I also bought the upsell of Advert Suite is because of this little feature here. Now this is the part that you can actually get inside of Facebook ads library when it comes to YouTube ads. Not many people are doing this, and that's why I really like it. So you can go over here to see details of this ad. Here's the URL of their landing page, and then here is their opt-in page for their webinar. Now, I have to pay to come into this, but if I were trying to funnel hack this dude, I was trying to get onto his Dream100, I'd 100% pay this, get onto the list, and see what comes next. And I'll explain what you can do with that information in the next part of this video. But to wrap up here, look, this is a really powerful software if you want to find their funnels, and if you want to go look at what, maybe they're not running YouTube ads, maybe they're running Instagram ads, or the Facebook ads, or Google PPC ads. That's why I really like this software. It's something I use, personally endorse. So if you want to get a few extra cool bonuses as well, like I mentioned before, all the lists of these names here, so you don't have to do anything, all the connection messages, so you don't have to lift a finger. You can just pretty much copy and paste all my proven connection messages. Get that as a bonus for signing up through my affiliate link for adverts.
All right, so we've found our Dream100, we've opted into their funnels. Now we just need to wait a little bit till we get their emails, their funnels, their landing pages, all that stuff. Remember before how we kept saying an even better gift? I kept saying even better, even better. Why is that? Well, if you're trying to critique someone or give them some advice, the worst thing you can do is just say, hey, I made something completely new. It's gonna get you really good results. And here you go. Now, the reason why that isn't effective is because you're basically saying, hey, what you wrote is really shit, and you don't know what you're talking about. Obviously, it is not that explicit, but subconsciously, people pick that up. That's why I like using a little add-on, even better. It's how you bypass all that awkwardness. Okay, so why are we doing this? Why are we going through their funnels, and why are we creating this free gift? Well, this is how you get their attention. And I don't mean some shitty PDF you send them. That's not going to convert at all. I mean, you have to give them something amazing. For example, one client I worked with recently, his name was Troy Dean. I went through his YouTube ad, and then I picked out 2 emails that I made even better. All I did was I took his existing copy, sandwiched it with my suggestions, and said, look, here are some testing suggestions that might make you some more money. And hey, if it works, maybe we can talk about doing business. I then sent out that inside of a lumpy mail package. We kind of look like this. If you don't know what lumpy mail is, or you're curious what was in that package, don't worry, in a future video, I'll be talking more detail what is lumpy mail and how to use it to attract attention. Because quite frankly, no one is using it, and it is super damn powerful to use the mail to grab attention. But here's the important part about your even better gift. It must be something that directly relates to ROI or saving them time, or just absolutely wowing them and making their life extremely better. For example, that little email that I sent to Troy, it made him an extra 25K. Now, I know this might be a little bit outside the scope of this video, but you might be wondering, what do I say in that initial message to grab their attention? Well, if you've enjoyed the content I've given you so far, you've had some ahas, the light bulb's gone off, make sure you hit the like button. But here's a general list of 3 things you should include in that message. 1, you need a pattern interrupt. Something bizarre, something crazy, something that's just gonna grab their attention. For instance, in my cold email pitch, I wrote a podcast pitch not written by an illiterate monkey. There's a bit of a backstory there, but basically there's a whole bunch of illiterate people writing podcast pitches, and I'm just poking fun of that. Point is, it got the open and it worked. So think of something bizarre or jarring for your pattern interrupt. Step 2, you need to state why you're messaging them and explain what's in it for them. Always think of how it's going to benefit them. Stop talking about yourself. 3rd principle is show empathy, give them a way out. Everyone's super busy. No one's going to read your email if they don't know you. Give them some slack. But hopefully I've given you enough of the framework for you to go out there and give this a test. And yeah, don't forget that tip about the mail, because the mail is just so damn powerful. Okay, all right, so I've covered a lot here, so let me quickly recap what we've spoken about today. Let's start with step 0, and that's setting your expectations. All right, you're gonna get rejected, people are gonna say no, you have to be comfortable with that. Just get over it. The next step is to find all your niche keywords. Get really clear on who you wanna serve as a client, and then what are the keywords related with that? So for me, it was like business coach, sales and marketing, that sort of thing. Might be different for you. Health, wealth, relationships, that sort of thing. Next, you want to go to listennotes.com. Then you want to find through keyword podcasts, particular podcast niches, or finding someone who's really big in an industry and then going through the different podcasts they've been through, finding the different lists of guests, and then filtering through there. Next, if you're like me, you want to make sure they've got deep pockets, they're spending money on paid ads, you want to go to advertsuite.com. And then with AdvertSuite, you're able to see what ads are running, but the really cool part with it is that you're able to then click on the link where their landing page is, go through their funnel, and get only the assets that they try and use for paid customers. And then this sets up the next step, which is creating your even better free gift to get your foot in the door with these people. I've pretty much done all the heavy lifting when it comes to the research and how to reach out to people. So if you're interested, check it out. And then the final step is then to obviously send out these things. So something bizarre to get their attention, showing empathy, and always what's in it for me for the other person. That's it for me. Happy hunting for your Dream 100 clients. Yeah, this takes time. It takes a bit of research, but going through the listen note strategy, I think it's one of the most powerful ways you can find a Dream 100. And while we're on the topic of clients, this video is gonna be in a playlist all about clients. Finding good clients, managing clients, staying away from hell on earth, nightmare clients. This is the first video of that series, so I'll be dropping that video in the weeks to come. So while you're here, make sure you check out some of my other videos on my channel, things like having a 6-figure launch, super optimized LinkedIn profile for conversions and clients, all these really cool things. Check it out over here.